Thank you for joining in today. Today we will be talking about the shimmery highlighters. If you have watched my previous videos in this series, then you know that I have already talked about some kind of highlighters. Highlighting using concealers. So I have spoken about that in the concealers video, also in the contouring and highlighting video. So basically we can highlight using the concealer and we don't necessarily need a highlighter or the shimmery highlighter that I'm going to talk about today. But before I start, I wanted to tell you about the difference, what this shimmery highlighter does and what does the concealer does. So what concealer does is it brightens up certain area of the face like our under eyes. We also put some concealer on the bridge of the nose, then on the cupid bow, then on our chin, and also we put, if to bring out the contrast between the contour and our skin, we also put some concealer above the jaw, so that we do usually when we are doing very hard contouring. So yes, so we highlight using concealer to brighten up certain area and to bring out the contour properly. But the shimmery highlighters that we are going to talk today are used to highlight the high points of our face. So when I say high points, when you touch your face, you will feel that there are certain areas which are kind of bony, like the top of the cheekbones, then your eyebrow bone, then your nose, right? So what we do is we use this shimmery highlight in order to bring out those features, bring out those high points of face, so that when we turn our face, the highlighted areas or the shimmers on those places reflects the light and makes the look even more gorgeous. So to me, this is not a mandatory step, but if you use that, it really enhances a lot of features of your face which otherwise might go unnoticed. If you are doing the highlighter correct, you can actually change certain areas of your face. Like for example, if you're contouring your nose, for example, so you are using the contouring powder or cream and some concealer on your nose, which for example will help in narrowing your nose or widening your nose. But when you add the highlighter on the bridge of your nose, you can actually enhance the narrowness or maybe enhance the existing feature of your nose. There are the various types of the highlighters. So there are highlighters which are in powder form. These are very common. Then we have loose highlighters. We also have liquid highlighters. The liquid highlighters are usually very potent, so you need to go really easy with this, otherwise they will just make you look like a disco ball. It has also come in jelly form, also in cream stick form. So yeah, like with other makeup products, the highlighters also come in a lot of forms. The tools that you use to highlight your face or to use the highlighter, you can use a highlighter brush, or simply you can just use your fingers to highlight your face. I feel using fingers really helps in pinpointing the places, because you actually don't need a lot of highlighters. You just need to strategically place the highlighter on your face in certain places, which will enhance your makeup, which will enhance your look, but you don't need to bathe with the highlighter. You don't want to look like a disco ball after all. A lot of time I use the finger to apply my highlighters. Now coming to the application, where should you be applying the highlighter? So first I'll tell you the most common places where we usually apply the highlighter. So we apply the highlighter on the bridge of the nose. Now depending on what kind of shape you want to bring out of your nose, or what kind of shape you want to achieve while you're putting the highlight. You need to be aware of that. So for example, if you already have a very long nose, you don't want to put the highlighter all the way through to the top of the nose. At the same time, if you have very wide nose, you might want to drag the highlighter up to the tip of the nose so that it helps in narrowing it down more. There is a very famous Instagram trend where they put a lot of highlight on the tip of the nose. You can try that, but in most of the cases, I find that attracts so much of light on the nose that the rest of the face just goes out of focus. So if you are doing that, just be aware of that. Now the other places where we usually place the highlight is under the brow bone, then on the top of the cheekbones, then on the cupid bow, on the chin, and on top of the eyebrows. So you can actually go from from the top of the cheekbone to the temple or the high point of the eyebrows. You can go like that. So I'll do some demonstration and show you how the highlighter can make or break your makeup. So for example, if you have a bigger forehead like I have, so I have already applied some contour on my hairline, okay, but I want the focus over here, so I have applied a very little bit of concealer here. And if you are not an oily skin type, then you can apply some highlighter here on the middle of the eyebrows so that the focus is over here and it takes the wider forehead out of the focus even more after you have already contoured your forehead. If you're oily skin type, I would say avoid this area, because if you're oily, then you know that you usually produce a lot of oil over here as the day goes. So putting highlighter and then getting oil in those areas will not look very flattering. Coming to the high points of the cheek or the cheekbone, the safest area is putting on top of it. Next, either you can choose just over here and do a C type. Ensure that the highlight is properly blended, because you don't want the streak on your face, like a streak going over here. That usually doesn't look very good. So you should try to always buff out all your makeup products. Now, depending on your face type and how you want your makeup to look like, you might want to bring it on top of the apple of the cheeks or where your blush starts. You can apply some on your chin. You can apply some on your cupid bow. It looks very beautiful with a deeper shade of lipsticks like red and dark pink. It really enhances the lips because it makes the lip really stand out. Next, you can apply on the bridge of the nose. And next, one important tip is, if you have very wide area over here, like very wide gap between your eyebrow and eyes or the eyelid, avoid putting it all over this gap. Just keep it right under the eyebrows. See what happens if I put it all over the gap. So if you compare this eye looks kind of droopy and it looks like my skin is sagging because I have so much of gap and I am putting highlighter over there, so it is attracting the light and making this area very pronounced. When you are putting a shimmery highlight, just know that you are enhancing that area or bringing forward that area. You are attracting light over here there. So being aware about that will help you and will help you in making decision as where should you be putting the highlights. So take a small brush and put some highlight in the inner corner of the eye. So the moment I put the highlight in the inner corner, you can see how the eye looks very awakened. Those are the usual places where you should be putting highlighters, and depending on whether you have wider forehead, whether you have wider nose, you should highlight accordingly. One thing to remember with highlights is avoid the areas where you have dry patches or flakiness or maybe some kind of texture or acne pimples, because as you saw with the eye, the highlighter actually attracts the light. So when you put highlight on top of the textured area, it will enhance the texture. So let the texture settle down and the skin heal, and after that you can use the highlighter. Avoid using the highlighter on such places. You really need a highlighter. So as I said in the beginning, it depends what level of makeup you want to achieve and what features you want to enhance. So having highlighter is a good thing, but you don't necessarily need a highlighter. If you have similar shade in your eyeshadow quad or the eyeshadow palette, it should work. Just ensure that the highlighters are really smooth, or the eyeshadow that you are going to use is really smooth. How do I know that a highlighter is a good quality or a good highlighter? Basically, when I touch the highlighter, it should give the pigmentation very easily on my finger, and it should not be very glittery or very flaky. So that's how you should decide what kind of highlighter it is, whether it is in cream highlight, whether it is in liquid. Just ensure that they are not glittery mess or very flaky kind of shimmers. How much highlighter do you need? So if you want to buy highlighter, I would say just get one or maximum two, because you actually need very less quantity of the highlighter to put. As you saw, I hardly used I hardly dipped my brush once or twice into the highlighter and applied it all over the face. Even if you are highlighting your shoulders or the chest area, you will still not need to bathe with the highlighter. So yes, if you are a new user of a highlighter, I would say just go for one. Or have a eyeshadow which is smooth and which is flattering on your face as highlighter, you don't even need a highlighter. So yeah, that was all, and I think this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching the video, and if you liked the video, kindly give me a thumbs up and share my video with your friends. Also follow me along in Instagram. I go by the same name, Effortless Allure, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Thanks a lot for watching my video. Bye bye, take care, keep smiling.